Greetings and welcome to Causeless Joy Tarot. I am the Golden Light Goddess, and I'm here today to do a general reading for the sign of Gemini for the month of February 2018. I am a little late getting my videos out for the month of February. The energy was just insane at the beginning of the month. Didn't allow me to get my videos processed in the time frame that I normally do, but I'm here now to do the videos, and this month I will be using two decks. The first one for the 5-card spread is the Morgan Greer Tarot deck, and then I will be pulling one guidance card or two, or however many decide to come, from Kyle Gray's Keepers of the Light. So if you'll recall, in the month of January, we did card draws for the entire year. So I drew a card for every sign for the remaining months of 2018. Your card this month, Gemini, is the Emperor in the reversed. So the Emperor in the upright is about being in control. This also could represent a fire sign, either an Aries or Leo or Sag individual that will be prominent in your life in the month of February. In the reverse, the Emperor reversed is really about excessively controlling a situation, or trying to control a situation, or lacking control. So it would be just the opposite of the Emperor being in control of his kingdom, right? Or in control of how things run very smoothly, allowing things to run very smoothly. So again, in the reverse here, we're talking an excess of control, a lack of discipline, and lacking control. It could also be like an absentee father, or a father figure who's not an authority in your life, the way, we would like father figures to be authorities in our life. So let's go ahead now and take a look at the rest of the cards for the sign of Gemini for the month of February. Calling on my guides, teachers, helpers, angels, all that loves and surrounds the sign of Gemini. Asking for perfect guidance, perfect clarity, and perfect wisdom as we look at the energies impacting the sign of Gemini for the month of February 2018. Giving thanks in advance for perfect clarity and wisdom. Asking for 5 cards that best suit and provide the highest information for the sign of Gemini for the month of February 2018. Also, if you know your rising sign or your moon sign, I encourage you to take a look at those readings as well, to get additional insights on the energies available to you in the month of February 2018. All right, Gemini, February 2018. All right, that feels pretty good there for Gemini, and we're going to go ahead and cut the cards now. All right, so let's take a look at the 5 cards for Gemini. All right, so let's go ahead now and take a look at, first of all, your relationship card. You do have the World coming out as your relationship card for February. And the World card is really about karma. about completions. The World card is also a really good indication that you're getting close to completing either a life goal or a life lesson. It also could indicate travel. So when I see this card coming up in the relationship area, perhaps you're either finally getting to a point in a personal relationship where you're getting ready to come full circle. In other words, sealing the deal, making it permanent, maybe getting ready to get married even. In America here, we do celebrate Valentine's Day in the month of February, so perhaps there could be some proposals happening around this time. The World card, what I also want to say about the relationships here is that the relationships aren't always husband and wife or a significant other type of relationship. It could be a co-worker, a family member. It could be any type of relationship. It could even be the relationship with yourself. So you'll know where completion is happening. Either you're advancing to the next step, and again, this is very karmic. This is something that is destiny for you. And again, you'll know where in your life this is going to apply as it relates to your relationships there. All right, so let's go on and take a look now at your abundance card. Right, so you do have another major arcana coming in here, and I'm just taking a look. 3 out of 4 of your primary cards, including your overall card here, are major arcanas. So what that says to me is that Geminis will probably undergo some pretty big changes, will begin, or at least you will start the process of those big changes in the month of February. Looking at the amount of energy that you have displayed here for February. So again, getting back to the Hermit as your abundance card. So the Hermit is all about going within and getting clarity. It's a quest for personal truth. So what's coming in very clearly for me is that if abundance, true abundance for you is your personal truth, in other words, it's not something that you're putting on a show for others to see, or doing things to get accolades or encouragement from others. If it's a genuine desire for you to be abundant and live abundantly, because there's no becoming abundant or being, you are abundant. Abundance is your natural birthright. It is the natural aspect of who you are. So there's no becoming or being abundant. But if it is your true desire to experience your abundance at a higher level, then what Spirit wants you to know is you'll need to go within to manifest this level of abundance. There was another sign that received this Hermit card in the abundance slot, and I don't remember which sign it was now, but I do recall having the thought there that about the law of attraction and The Secret, things of this nature, where we literally create the things that we want to see in our life, or sometimes we create the things that we don't want to see in our life, and we create that based on the position that we're holding mentally, the pictures that we're feeding ourselves, the thoughts that we're allowing and that we're entertaining in our mind. So here, in order to fully allow that abundance to come in to your awareness and to be experienced at a new level, Spirit is pointing you back inwards, pointing you to where your true north is, as it relates to your abundance here, and asking you to move from that place, and not from a place of lack, or not from a place of not having, not from a place of not experiencing the abundance that you're wanting, because what you focus on increases. So if you're constantly saying, I don't have this and I don't have that, then that will be the experience that you have. I can't remember who said this famous saying right now, but it's really coming into my mind, and that is, if you believe that you can conquer the world, you're right, and if you believe you can't, you're right. You know what I mean? So it's all about what you believe to be true. And here Spirit is pointing you back internal, in order to truly manifest the abundance that you so rightfully deserve. All right, so your position here and is the Three of Wands. And when I say your position, what I mean is how you're viewing your circumstance. How are you relating to the energy that is available to you? And the Three of Wands really signifies teamwork and expansion. So right now your position is one of wanting to collaborate and work together to get things done. Now, I'm drawn back to your overriding energy here of the Emperor in the reverse. And as I mentioned, the Emperor in reverse is about being stubborn and rigid and overly controlling. So here we have that potential for you to be both overly controlling as well as completely collaborative in your efforts. So to me, this speaks to the Gemini nature. You know, Gemini is the twin, and you have the capacity to go from one extreme to the other. You know, and that's not saying I'm not intending to say anything bad about the sign of Gemini. It's simply, this is your nature. This is this twin nature that Geminis are instilled with. It's in your nature to go from being overly controlling to completely willing to collaborate. So what Spirit wants you to know here about this combination is to create balance wherever you can logically create balance for yourself and for your situation, to be aware that there's this potential to swing the pendulum from one end of the spectrum all the way to the other within a matter of minutes, you know. So being aware that there's this potential will greatly assist you in mitigating all of that, doing better. You know, there's a saying, when we know better, we can do better. So having this knowledge that you have, and I'm sure many of you out there, you know, already know this to be true about yourself, either through your own personal experience or from people around you commenting on this tendency that you have, or that comes about sometimes, to swing from one from one extreme to the next. So again, being aware that this is this potential is there, especially in the month of February, will simply help you to bring balance around that behavior. All right. So, as your challenge position, we do have the Empress coming up in the reverse. And the Empress in the upright position is all about a new beginning, it's all about fertility, um, and independence, being able to really get things done and to start things off really well. So when I see this in the reverse, what this is about is depending on others. You know, instead of getting out there and making decisions and taking actions, there's this tendency to depend on other people, either to provide information to you or to make you feel better about a situation before taking action, you know. And this is presenting itself as a challenge for Geminis. So again, you have the challenge of balancing your emotions to where you're not swinging wildly from one extreme to the next. And then you also have this challenge of depending on others to get things done for you. Not necessarily, I take that back, because this isn't about someone else getting the job done for you. Perhaps you rely on other people to help you get the job done. You know, not necessarily that you look for someone else to do it for you, but you're depending on others, perhaps too too often, or too much, in too great of a capacity, you know, to where it's taking away from your own ability to stand in your own knowing, in your own ability to do things, right? So you want to be mindful of this energy here that I'm picking up for Gemini for the month of February. Again, there's this need to balance the extremes, the tendency to swing from one extreme to the next. And then there's this challenge presenting itself, reminding you to rely more on your own abilities than you do on the abilities of others in the month of February. All right, so as your advice card, we have the Two of Pentacles coming out in the reverse. And this is about feeling overwhelmed. And this is your advice card or your outcome card. You know, it's about feeling having the feeling of being overwhelmed, struggling, you know, to perhaps maintain this huge swing from this willingness to be a team player to swinging back to being completely in control, you know. And this type of energy will ultimately cause you to feel overwhelmed, and perhaps like others are the cause for the way you're feeling, you know. And this again goes back to what I was just saying about the Empress coming up in the reverse, learning to not depend so heavily on others to give you what you need to do what you need to do. Now, I know that sometimes that's required, you know. Sometimes we can't make a move until a piece of the puzzle comes in, or until someone gives us the green light, or you know, whatever it is we need to get the job done. So the Hermit is also here in your spread, reminding you that the light is here, and you're holding the light to light your own way. And so if you would look to the light within you more than you look to others outside of you to get things done, that will prove to be very helpful for you in the month of February, and not only in the month of February, Gemini, but in the months going forward. So yes, that is what's coming in there for the sign of Gemini in the month of February. So let's go ahead now and take a look at your final guidance card for February. Calling on my guides, spiritual teachers, helpers, all that loves and surrounds the sign of Gemini. Asking for one additional card to close out the reading for Gemini for the month of February. Giving thanks in advance to all that is loving and true as we ask for one additional guidance card. There it is. It almost got away from us. All right, there we go. All right, so your final guidance card is the Holy Amethyst. It's divine alchemy, Gemini. It says to move beyond your current challenges and focus on what you desire. Now, again, I did pick up some staticky energy here with the collaboration and the need to control, swinging from one extreme to the next, as well as dependence on others. So here we're Spirit is letting you know that you have what it takes to move beyond this energy, to bring more balance into your beingness, and to allow that to lead you forward. So, and focusing on what you desire is very important. That goes back to what I was saying as well about the law of attraction. If you're, if you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. That's exactly where I was going with that, is that focusing on what you desire places you in a position to manifest that, So if someone upsets you and you're constantly rehashing that in your mind, if you're constantly reliving the pain of that experience instead of focusing on what you do want, which is peace, joy, love, and finding ways to bring that type of energy into your life, whether it's going outside, taking a walk, taking a nap, doing whatever you need to do to bring yourself back into alignment with the truth of your being. All right, so that does conclude your reading, Gemini, for the month of February. I thank you for joining me this month, and I do wish you a very prosperous February, and I look forward to seeing you back here in March. Namaste.